What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fitness For You podcast. Welcome back to my living room where I do the podcast. In the studio today, I have none other than the #1 muscle hypertrophy coach in Weaverville, North Carolina, Erik Warner. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now that I got your name right, this is like perfect.
Yeah, my name's not Nick.
I started off the podcast and I was just like, Nick Warner. And then there was just like this awkward silence. You're just like, that's not my name. So now that we got your name right,
Nice.
welcome to the show.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you, you're the #1 hypertrophy coach in Weaverville, North Carolina. What got you started?
What got me started was I lived a life. It's pretty lazy.
Okay.
Well, not lazy as come to work wise, but lazy is like when I got home, drank a 6-pack,
Okay.
ate a lot of bad foods, and then got terrible sleep, and then repeated the process. And one day I needed a change.
So now you're doing the opposite of drinking a 6-pack and not getting any sleep.
Yeah. I limit that for like very, very special occasions.
Of course.
And I don't think that we should be doing those things, but I like beer. Yeah.
Who doesn't like beer? I like beer. What's your favorite kind of beer?
Probably the Doppelbock.
Wait, what? What is a Doppelbock?
It's like it's a German beverage. I think like Eyinger in Munich does like the standard when it comes to it.
Uh-huh.
It's basically like kind of more caramelized, rich amber.
Yeah.
So you ever have like a amber beer, like Dos Equis Amber or whatever? Just think of it as like more caramely
Sure.
and bready.
Caramely and bready. Wow, all words that I can't say. That's incredible. Okay, very cool.
Drink it in moderation.
Yeah, please drink in moderation and please don't drive.
Much moderated.
Disclaimer. Don't drink and drive. We shouldn't have to tell you that, but there you go.
Alcohol is catabolic.
It's not good for your
Not
muscle
good for
gains.
muscle gains.
But really quick on the beer note, because I do like a good beer every once in a while. I'm more of a IPA kind of guy.
I love IPAs, yeah.
IPAs are great. I feel more manly when I'm drinking an IPA. You know what I'm saying?
I like to shove a pine cone in my mouth. I feel like a man.
Why? It's how I feel. Like when I go to the bar, like I feel better saying like, "Hey, give me a strong IPA," instead of like, "Hey, can I have a Heineken?"
Oh, this feeds into the stereotype for sure.
Listen, I'm all for it. Yeah. What? Now you've worked in a bar before.
Mm-hmm.
What? Do you see that type of stereotype? Do you see like people like the people who order the IPAs are like long bearded men with lots of body hair and just like they're gonna go order a masculine drink, or is it just completely like false and I have no idea what I'm talking about?
So surprisingly enough, those guys drink usually like big stouts.
Okay.
And well, actually, that's not surprising. That's big and bold, and like they think it's like big man stuff.
Yeah.
Or they really know their stuff about craft beer, and they drink like lagers that are made really well from like Belgium. Well, not Belgium. Belgians don't really do like lagers that much. Like Germany or like what's another country? I'm blanking on.
There's
it.
Germany. There's Turkey.
Czechoslovakia.
See?
Like Czech Pilsner or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Like those guys usually go for those types of beers, or like a type of beer like my Doppelbock. If they're like more educated on it and they like really got into craft beer culture for years and years and years.
Yeah.
People who just like want to go for fun.
Sure.
Are very light on it. Usually nowadays stick to like the IPA. It's like more like laid back New England style. And
like you get people like me who's like, yeah, can I get a Blue Moon? And they think it's like an IPA.
Yeah.
I thought Blue Moon was an IPA for years.
God, I work at breweries too, so I still get that. It's like, can I get a Blue Moon? I'm like, we don't brew the Blue Moon. That's not our company.
That's not our company. What would you say is the closest thing to a Blue Moon you have at your place?
So we brew new beer every week, so it changes all the time. I don't know what's on there right now because the hurricane made me not have a job for a while.
Oh, yeah, that got bad.
So I couldn't tell you, actually. I'll be back there next week, but Yeah, hurricanes are bad.
Hurricanes are bad.
Hurricanes
Hurricane
are not
Helene did
great.
not do us any good.
No. No.
We basically live in the epicenter of it, so we have a voice to say. So Fitness for You wound up surviving, thank God, Hurricane Helene. And listen, everyone went through some serious hardship at the time, and there was a lot of people who lost their jobs.
Yeah.
You know, because of the hurricane. Asheville got destroyed. Listen, there's no sugar putting around that. There's so much news out there that's either over catastrophing it or underplaying it.
There's a lot of misinformation out there too.
There's a lot. Like, I remember like sitting outside when we didn't have power because funny enough, we live in the same complex, which is awesome.
Yeah, I walked you.
Yeah, he did. It was really good. You want to do podcasts? Come here too.
Yeah.
Like, I can literally, if I go outside my door, I can literally see his apartment all the way down.
Yeah.
So it's a hop and a skip away. But like, I remember there were helicopters every 10 minutes flying by, like military helicopters.
Like immediately after. Like,
Yeah.
we had helicopters come like right in. I remember walking out like once the hurricane was done, I saw 2 helicopters coming right over.
Yeah.
And then the news is saying it's like no one came to help them. And I was, oh man, that bothered me.
I saw it right there.
I went down to Georgia for work, right? Because I needed to work. I needed to find something. So I went to like my old serving gig, like my first serving job, and just got tables and whatnot. The amount of people that told me I was wrong about what I saw.
That crazy.
Oh my god.
It's wild, bro.
I was like, the major news organizations, they're not your friend.
They're not.
We're getting political here.
No, but seriously, and like, listen, me and you we're on kind of opposite sides of the political spectrum, but we always talk. But I agree with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you, bro.
That's crazy.
I was there, and I was like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
The one thing I did see, and that they're not talking about, is all the people that band together and helped.
Oh, for sure.
Like, we were in our community, we had no power, we had no water, we had no internet. It was very scary for a little bit, right? But like, everyone band together. They were picking up, we were helping people get water out of the pool and bringing it to their houses. Yeah. And it was just incredible to see everyone band together. Everyone was friends again, And listen, it got to the point where Hurricane Helene, I knew we hit a low point when we were all in the pool. And I at one point was just like, hey, can you pass the shampoo to one of my neighbors? And I'm like, I have reached a low point.
Yeah. I went to a complex. I was like more into Asheville for a little while. Yeah. My girlfriend like works at this apartment complex right by the Biltmore district. So like that area got hit really hard. Biltmore Villages. And I saw all these people coming together trying to help, and like there's these people from Florida that were bringing down like tons of resources to this apartment complex. We were sorting through everything, but the biggest thing I saw and heard all the stories of all these different people helping each other out. That was the biggest thing in the hurricane for, I think, like for you too, like for me. Yeah. Was like Asheville is very much the type of town that's help your neighbor type thing. Very artsy, artsy town and whatnot, but like it also has that culture of like care for each other, get the shirt off your back type thing. Right. Which biggest positive that like again like they're not going to report on that. They're going to report on how many people died, which again like that's such a tragedy, especially like in like Swannanoa. Yeah. Like that area, which I don't think they really talk about that area too much, even though like that's like the most catastrophic area that I think Helene hit. Right. Where like there's like low income homes and mobile homes that guys got taken out. But like,
houses literally floating away.
Not to get on the depressing side of it, but like there's a lot to it. There's a lot of happy positives and a lot of like really scary negatives.
There are. I mean, dude, it's a national disaster. There's no hiding about it. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here on my podcast and sell lies and say everything was hunky dory. It wasn't. But there was some really good things. But then there's like BS. Like you get these people who are convinced, like Chimney Rock. Chimney Rock got destroyed. It's no longer here, right? But they're saying like, oh yeah, the government's hiding bodies in Chimney Rock. To skew the number. I'm like, what are you talking? Have you even been there? You can't even get there.
There's going to be a conspiracy about literally everything.
Bro. It's crazy. But the good thing that came out of this, like, I don't even want to say a good thing, but a lot of people were not able to get back onto their fitness, and that kind of hit the back burner, and understandably so. Like, yo, you got to take care of your people. But like, I remember I'm a fitness freak, and the one thing I want to do is, as a servant, you know what I'm saying? Because as trainers, as coaches, it's our nature to serve people, right? And like, we couldn't get into the gym because the electricity was out, right?
Yeah.
We couldn't get into the gym. That made a lot of sense. So I went to my storage unit, and I found all of my equipment when Fitness for You was literally a door-to-door service.
Yeah.
And we'd go and train people. I had a bunch of equipment. So literally, I put all of my equipment out in the front parking lot, and I had a sign that said Community Gym. And everyone came to work out, and it was awesome. It was really cool. So my point being, like, you know, when we got electricity back, Fitness for You, thank God, was a source for people to get their fitness back.
Yeah.
You would think that a lot of people wouldn't come back. We had more people come in October than we did September, August, and July.
That was super surprising to me.
Right.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it coming either.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow. I remember me and you were texting back and forth because you had to go to Georgia at that point. You had to evacuate, you know, which made sense. I was like, all right, I'll hold the fort down. And then like call after call. I think people got bored and they were like, listen, I want to get my fitness back. And honestly, I really feel like it was a change for people. Like, oh man, I really got to stay fit. I don't want to die if something like this happens, you know?
Yeah.
So we were able to do that. We were able to get our feet back in shape. But you being the #1 hypertrophy coach has been nothing but a blessing. By the way, he's on our team if you have not told. If you haven't figured it out yet. He's a Fitness for You guy all the way. What? Oh my God, what is this? I'm just so happy I was able to steal you before any other, you know, company picked you up. Sorry, but we're the #1 weight loss and fitness program in Weaverville, North Carolina. I say that with pride because what we do is we help people out. Now, that being said, you have been nothing but a blessing to my business, right? You have helped everybody out, specifically in gaining muscle, right?
Oh, yeah.
What are some of your, like, I'm an expert at that. What are some of your what are some of your takeaways, like, generally speaking, like, what is muscle growth?
The growth of muscle. I guess to say what muscle growth is, it's creating a stimulus that causes recruitment of cells within your muscles, and you grow muscle. Muscle growth is muscle growth. It grows. It's yeah.
So what you're basically saying is I asked a stupid question.
No.
Yeah,
I can tell you what the process is.
Tell me the process, damn it.
All right. So, yeah, muscle growth, you create a stimulus by training hard. You feed your muscles with enough protein.
Yeah.
You have a good diet, and then you have good sleep, and that's the cycle.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
It's very cut and dry. It's there's nuance to it, obviously, but that's basically what it is. Stimulus, feed, and then replenish energy through sleep.
So you're basically saying you need to have a healthy balance between working very hard in the gym and resting equally as hard.
Yeah.
Outside of the gym.
Oh yeah.
How important is that for muscle growth?
Resting is like the most important thing.
Really?
Well, I won't say it. It's the most important thing other than creating the stimulus to cause muscle growth. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Sleep is the most underrated thing in the world. It will cause you to feel better. It'll cause you to be less stressed. It'll cause you to have mental clarity throughout your day. And also, when your body's feeling really good like that, it wants to recover faster.
Right.
It wants to feel good, so you will grow. You know.
Right.
Also, HGH helps get created while you're hitting some like REM cycles, so it's good for you.
Right.
You know, sleep.
How much out? Now this is a dumb question, and I love asking dumb questions because I always learn something new. No such thing as a dumb question unless you're like driving and you ask your partner, you're like, "Hey, what's the speed limit?" and you just pass the speed limit sign. That's a stupid question. Anyway,
or if you don't use your turn signal, and then like that's just a stupid person.
I hate North Carolina for that. Like, I love North Carolina, but y'all drive me freaking nuts, bro. Use your blinker when you. I don't get it. You know what that means? Here's my theory on that. My theory is it's poor communication. That's all it is. They're great people. They're bad communicators. They're bad communicators. I will say it on my podcast. I mean it, and they will agree with me. Okay.
I think it's like for some people, I think it's like an ego thing too. Like I don't want to say all truck drivers because it's not. I love me a good truck, right? But there's a large amount of people who own a pickup truck that do not want to use their turn signals, and I feel like it has something to do with inflated ego of like, I don't need to do that.
I don't need to do that. You know where I'm going.
Real men don't use their turn signal.
Yeah, the real men get into car accidents.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. It's just, listen, bro, that's my pet peeve. I actually told you that pet peeve a million times over, so.
It's my pet peeve.
I'm consistent with it.
Yeah.
North Carolina's got its pros and cons. Like, yo, you go to New York, yo, we're all driving 90 miles an hour. I get it. We suck. Yeah. We're evil. We're mean. I get it. You're right. Anyway, everyone's got their own thing. Were we talking about muscle growth?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so resting is just as important. Now, are there other things besides sleep I can do to help my muscle growth when it comes to, like, reducing my stress and relaxing?
Yeah. Making sure that your day isn't too, like, cumbersome, which you're not going to get out of that. You know, people have to work, people have to have stressful situations. So there's like different things you can do, like meditation. You can supplement things that help reduce your stress levels. Like a biggest thing that's not in enough people's diet, magnesium. I want to say it over and over again. Magnesium, glycinate, or L-threonate are like godsend when it comes to mental clarity, reducing anxiety, reducing cortisol.
Yeah.
And then of course like ashwagandha, like you know very well. Ashwagandha helps lower stress and cortisol. And like just try to do things that make you happy. You know.
Yeah.
If that's you know throwing a ball outside with your dog, if that's you cuddling up with your significant other at night. If that's you spending time out your day to read a nice book that just makes you really happy, you know, like you got to do things that alleviate stress.
That's so important. Like, I feel like in today's culture, you talk about this a lot. Like, I feel like so many people are, and I'm included. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, he's definitely included in this.
I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
I have a problem. Raise your hand if you're a workaholic. Hi, my name is Ricky. I'm a workaholic. That is my issue. I don't know how to rest. Building muscle and getting into the best shape of your life is almost countercultural to hustle culture.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about people who just like, they're going to train 7 days a week. They're going to work really hard, but they're not going to rest as hard. How do you feel about that?
If you're not going to rest as hard, you're not really working as hard as you can. That's the biggest thing. If you're constantly only having 5 hours sleep a day, the amount of output that you can do mentally, for a good example, if you don't rest very well one day and you rest very well the other day, and you take two people that are very similar, you have the same test, the person that rested pretty well is going to do way better than the person that didn't.
Yes.
You increase your likeliness of doing better in that test by like, I don't remember there was a study that went on, and I don't remember the exact percentage, but it was big. Yeah. So think about that, how that relates to the rest of your life, right? So if you're not resting enough, then you're not going to do as well at the tasks that are in front of you.
Right.
So
that makes a ton of sense to me. Like they were talking about like I remember like seeing studies on like athletes that almost look really lazy, like they put in the hard work, right? But they're sitting down, they're playing video games on their time off, they're hanging out with their chick.
Oh yeah.
And they wind up outworking the people who are like balls to the wall.
Yep.
Why is that?
Because they're lowering their cortisol. They're having better sleep. They're happier because they're not causing themselves stress all the time.
Right.
Which, like you said, it's in our culture. It's definitely the American mentality of work. We'll rest when we're old. Yeah. Which nowadays, with a lot of people, you don't rest when you're old.
You don't.
So the biggest thing, is like making sure that your work is quality. And if your work's not quality, then what are you making?
What are you really doing, right?
Yeah.
Like that was something I needed to learn when I became an entrepreneur and I brought Fitness for You down here. Like, I would work 2 hours a day, make all my money, and I'd be freaking out because I don't know what to do with the rest of the day. I'm like, it's 12 p.m.
Yeah.
I finished work.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I just start I started to fill in my time with like unproductive work. Like just doing, like there's something called being busy, but there's no such thing as like you're busy, but you're really not productive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I did that all the time. I'm still guilty of it.
Oh, I'm very guilty of that.
You know, like I'm busy, but did I really do anything?
Yeah.
Versus
absolutely.
like being an entrepreneur and going and just being like, yo, I did this quality work today.
Yeah.
I did everything I needed to do,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's done. On my last podcast, we had a guy named Ari Alvarado, and he literally said the same thing. And I remember we talked after the podcast too. You guys should go check him out, Ari Alvarado on Instagram. Amazing stuff. But he remember telling me this because he's also an entrepreneur, and he said, when the work is done, it's done.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to do. Like having the amount of time that you spend doing something doesn't necessarily mean the quality has been done.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think like one of the biggest things that's helped me actually pretty recently about avoiding that like overwork type thing or just getting quality work done is before I do the work, having like some sort of like checklist and whatnot.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, this is what needs to get done today. And once it's all done, I shouldn't feel bad about doing something that makes me happy.
Right.
Oh
my gosh.
There's a whole tangent here, but
I know it's a whole tangent, but I feel like everyone's like, yo, like I feel like you ever feel like sit down and you just feel guilty for sitting down and relaxing?
Yeah.
I get that all the time.
For sure.
For sure. I feel like this is a counseling session. I feel like I'm getting counseled. This is great. Thank you.
I mean, that's the thing is like with hypertrophy, hypertrophy, and like just wellness in general, like well-being and like losing weight and all that. A lot of wellness is just based around having a better quality of life and creating that through like rest, doing things that are fun for you, but also working hard and doing things that are productive.
Right.
That's, like the tenets of having a good life and how to grow in different respects of like any facet of life is the same when you diet down. It's the same when you do muscle hypertrophy. It's a lot of the same thing over and over again that you get better at certain things. And, that wasn't a very organized thought, but
no, but that made sense to me.
It's all like a circle for each thing. And then the circle gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then,
I just have to say, me and Erik have ADHD, and this is the most organized I think we've ever been in a conversation.
Yeah, I'm actually off my medication right now too, so it's really hard for me right now.
Just sitting down and having a conversation.
Yeah. Another thing the hurricane messed up for me. I don't have access to my medication anymore.
Where's my Adderall?
Gosh, yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, now I just have to resort to copious amounts of caffeine. I'm just kidding, but it's 3:10, so it's been a while since I've had caffeine.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You get somebody who doesn't have the knowledge of gaining muscle, and he says, Erik, I've done everything possible to gain muscle. I've increased my calories. He increased his calories. He's working. He did this exercise and that exercise. I'm not gaining muscle. How would you approach that situation?
Well, first things first. How long do you sleep a day? Like how many hours do you get? All right. Do you wake up groggy? What's the quality of your sleep? If you can figure out how to make your sleep perfect, you'll start gaining muscle regardless of most things that you do, I guess, because your recovery will be a lot better. But I'd also go into the whole thing of like, all right, are you training hard? Most people think they're training hard, but there's a mental barrier, right? A lot of people go into like personal training sessions and you'll see like, they'll be like, oh, like I'll do 10 reps of this. And then you will tell them like, hey, don't count your reps. Just keep going.
Sure.
And then they can do like 30.
Right. They can just do 30. Right.
Yeah. Because they don't believe in themselves as much as they should. Right. So like, are you training hard? Is like a big thing. I know I'm going to go with 3 things.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 3 things. Yeah. I'm going to go a little bit more. So other than good sleep, train hard, and then track your nutrients. Get enough protein. That's it, honestly. Those 3 things will make you gain muscle.
Why is tracking your protein so important?
Because protein's what makes muscle.
I love that answer.
That's literally it. Like, I mean, like, there's more things to it, obviously. It's more satiating and whatnot. Well, actually, there's studies now that, you know, there's things that are higher in fiber, more satiating. Well, it doesn't matter. But protein builds muscle. It's good for you. Just eat it.
It's that simple. Like, you take, okay, if I were to take, let's just say, somebody who ate 2,000 calories of carbs versus 2,000 calories of protein, which one would lose weight and why? What do you think?
Oh, man. This is I'm going to keep it simple. There's a lot of nuance to that, but I'm going to keep it simple.
There is a lot of nuance. I just want to see your brain go.
Yeah. I'm going to say the 2,000 calories, like, I'm just assuming that's all they're eating is protein.
That's it.
Yeah. Let's, in a hypothetical world where hormones are perfect regardless, people who had 2,000 calories of protein are going to do better when it comes to fat loss and muscle gain, because protein is used for muscle gain. Carbs necessarily are not, although carbs do help with a lot of processes in the body. But there's this thing called, I think it's called protein gluconeogenesis, where if you have too much protein, which is usually like over 0.7 times your body weight to maybe 0.8, maybe on the higher end, though that rest of that protein is converted into carbohydrates anyways. So it's used as fuel. And also protein in general is like 40% more thermogenic than like than carbs. So you'll lose weight just because it takes more energy for your body to consume it, and you'll gain muscle at the same time because it's used to build muscle. So
that's a big reason why I have a lot of my clients take protein in, and we talk about it all the time. Like, it's thermogenic, man.
Yeah, it's thermogenic.
It helps. It burns so much more calories than if they would just eat their fat and carb diet. You know, immediately they start getting leaner. They start dropping weight like it's nobody's business.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I think that's a big lifestyle change because it's a challenge. You tell someone to get 100 grams of protein. What? How do I do that? What are some tips on getting protein? What's a good way to get extra protein in your diet?
Find something you like and eat it. Well, no, there's tons of things. A lot of people don't like protein. It's hard for a lot of people to eat enough protein. They don't know what way to get it in. I mean, Greek yogurt, chicken, beef, most anything that's that was alive or is alive as a Greek yogurt will feed that for you, right? And if you can't get enough, find a protein powder that tastes good. We have so many companies in it right now that make really good protein powder that actually tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and stuff. So yeah.
Can I double scoop my protein?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
There's no problem with that?
No.
How many grams of protein can one digest at one time?
We haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
We know it takes like longer periods of time for your body to get it all, like to use all the protein. But right now, what was the last study showed people eating over 100 grams of protein in one sitting, and they were still getting like good benefits out of it. So like, well, for digestion itself, I guess maybe it would be more immediate, but I know as far as like muscle building goes, protein consumption can happen in a large amount and be used for longer periods of time. So
I'm under the camp about protein synthesis, like getting it at least 4 to 5 times a day, right? Your protein in at least 3 to 4, spikes of protein. I'm in that camp where, you can have all your protein in one sitting, right? I think it would be more beneficial per se, because people ask me that all the time. How much protein can I digest? I'm like, don't worry about that. Just eat the protein.
Yeah.
Just eat it. You'll be fine. Right? I think a lot of people overcomplicate it, especially if they're not elite athletes, so you don't got to complicate it. I think 3 to 4 times a day, like, get 3 to 4 meals in with a hefty amount of protein, like 20 to 30 grams.
Yeah.
You'll be set. How do you feel about protein synthesis and that kind of stuff?
With protein synthesis, I think it's really important to get a large amount of your protein in the morning. and then the rest of what you need to sparse it throughout the day. Like, for like weight loss clients, I think like, let's say they have 4 meals throughout the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first meal I think should have double the protein of any of the other meals, because that is what starts the day and what starts protein synthesis and will keep it going for longer, because your body can utilize a lot more protein all at once and use protein synthesis for like multiple hours throughout the day. Like I said, like 100 grams can go, and what is that, like 6 hours or something like that of protein synthesis if you just get it early on. So I think it's most important in the morning to get the day started, and then after that you can have it in like equal amounts.
Okay.
Yeah, because like starting muscle protein synthesis in a larger amount will have it go for longer till the next time you eat. Right.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense to me. That does. I think that's great, and I'm in the same camp as you with that.
Yeah.
We agree on a lot of things. Some things we don't agree on. Mm-hmm. That's okay. I'm always open to learning something new. That was always our thing. I think me and you kind of like had differences of opinions, and it was really it was interesting to see us collab on a lot of things, like, because we have a lot of clients that we work together with, you know, that are our clients, and we have to come to a conciseness where it's like, oh, well, let's do this. And sometimes I say, yeah, screw it, whatever you want to do, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know it's going to benefit the client anyway. Workouts. Okay. Is there a specific are there specific exercises that are better than other exercises, or is it dealer's choice when it comes to building muscle?
Yeah. Yes and yes. I think that it's overcomplicated a lot. So if you get like really into exercise and whatnot and want to get the most optimal, you can. There are like for hamstrings, for example, if you do a seated hamstring curl, you're going to get more stimulus out of it than a lying hamstring curl. So technically, for hamstrings, there is a better option out there, and it's the most optimal. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that people should get bogged down by that. I think that they should stick to the principle of training hard, and then find an exercise that you either enjoy or like feel good doing.
Right.
Because then you're more likely going to push it hard and feel good about it. So it's dealer's choice in the sense of like, you can get big doing most things if you do it hard enough.
Okay.
But there's technically a better way if you are positioned that way, which I kind of have that mentality of like the most optimal thing is the thing I'm going to enjoy the most.
Right. And I think everyone should pick exercises that they like to do.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to grow their chest, but someone tells them to do dumbbell press, but they like bench press, they should just do bench press.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a great idea. That makes a ton of sense to me.
Yeah, if you're enjoying it, you're going to push yourself harder. You're going to want to.
Now, do you feel like how many days a week is optimal for muscle growth?
100. No. How many days a week is optimal for muscle growth? There is a lot of debate about that right now. Like, a lot. I want to say from a there's so many caveats to it. I want to say for the majority of the population, the best one we can probably do is like 5 days a week.
Okay.
Oh, that's hard for me to say because I want to say 4. It's 4 to. There's a lot of debate.
Give me your simplest conclusion. Your simplest conclusion. What would you say for best for muscle growth?
I would say 4 days a week, an upper lower split. Mainly because I think that people need more time to recover, and a lot of people won't get enough sleep to recover, and I want to give enough time for that to breathe. The only reason I would go further than that would be to prioritize more growth in different parts of your body.
Yeah. But
like the more advanced you get, the more like you only need to focus on maybe 4 parts of your body at a time that's outgrowing everything else.
Right.
So I would say an upper lower split 4 days a week is probably the most optimal. Mm-hmm. That's my take right now. You know, this has evolved multiple times for me. I used to think push-pull legs, which I still love that split. Don't take that away from anybody. It's an awesome split. If you love being in the gym, it's a great way to go. You will gain muscle from it. And then, full body 3 days a week is also great. It's just, that's the thing is like.
That's not fun to me.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
But some people love that, and it helps them with their daily lives and whatnot. But, like, I guess most optimal, I want to say upper-lower split of 4 days a week, but, like, you can get similar results doing what any of the other splits.
Like you said before, like something that you enjoy and you love doing, you're going to get more results out of something that's like, oh, this is the most optimal, but you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and what fits into your lifestyle,
Right. Like, exactly.
Like, I switched to an upper-lower split because Hurricane, and I had less time. And I didn't want to be less than 4 days a week, but I also knew like there's a lot of research behind showing upper lower splits with recovery and like as a stimulative fatigue model helps a lot and helps minimize like overall like feeling of being bogged down. Like if you overwork yourself, you can end up feeling really like stressed out, and that's a catabolic state.
Right.
So it's like, and I guess figuring out where you lie, like how far can you push yourself while also recovering. So it's from a case-by-case basis, I think.
Exactly, and I think that's all fitness. Fitness is all case-by-case, figuring out the whole 9 yards. Like,
absolutely,
what works for you. Like, I always tell people, like, yo, what's the exercises you like to do? What are the foods you like to eat?
Yeah.
Right? And let's make a plan, and let's do it. Like, if we eat fun food in moderation, right, and we pick exercises you love to do, you get into the best shape of your life like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people look at me weird. Like, they're like I look on Instagram and everyone's doing these crazy foods that take a ton of time to make, like sour cream donut mix, and you do this, and there's like a billion different steps. I don't know about you. That's my biggest pet peeve, and I can't stand it. I open up a freaking can of chicken. I drain it. I eat it out of the can. And I maybe have a little rice with that. That's not glamorous, but that's just how I roll, bro. And you got your little goop you eat every day that you just send pictures to me, and I'm just grossed out. And
well, it's because we're like at heart we go for function, and like we're like we'll eat for well, actually I say that we'll eat for function, but like you have chicken tenders and like you can't eat like what like tomatoes on your burger. Or?
No, I can't. Why are you gonna out me in public like that? Why are you gonna out me in public?
But I mean, like I think that like a large population, they need to have something that tastes good regardless, or else they won't stick to it. But I think the big point like you're making is there's these principles, and as long as you fit everything in your life within those principles, regardless of the person, it's gonna work. Right? Say I love Krispy Kreme donuts, right? But like I need to lose weight. How can I fit a sweet treat like Krispy Kreme donuts in my diet? Well, maybe like half the days of the week I eat one, and it's like 200 calories per donut, I think. I just make sure my other calories are lower and I still have enough nutrients. Or I eat one every day and I still have like lower sugar added in the rest of my diet. I just move things around.
Right.
You can still be healthy and like eat like stuff that people say is garbage. It's not garbage. It's just you need to be able to fix your diet accordingly.
I agree. I think when people say like food is either good or bad,
food is fuel.
Food is not bad. Like, I don't think there's any such thing as bad foods.
No.
Because food is not toxic.
I think it's my biggest pet peeve.
Right?
That's my biggest, like, other than a carnivore diet, I really hate when people talk about, oh, you can't eat that if you want to lose weight. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Do you understand how it works?
Right.
It's like, I don't know. Like, if you start telling people you can't eat certain foods, that's when psychologically things start getting messed up. You don't want an eating disorder because like some guy told you that eating fish and leaves every day is what's going to make you lose weight. Like,
doesn't make any sense.
No,
it just doesn't make any sense. The carnivore diet is so dumb.
Yeah, it's been disproven many times. It causes diabetes, by the way, which is crazy because there's no sugar in there. But it causes diabetes.
Yeah. Listen, I'm all... It's true, though. It just drives me nuts. People die on their stupid hills.
Yeah.
I die on my hill too. I'm biased too. I totally understand. But like, yo, they'll die on their hill saying keto's the way to go. It's called caloric deficit. Carnivore is the way to go. It's called caloric deficit. Anytime somebody negates a macronutrient out of their diet, they're doing the body a disservice because the body utilizes all of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, okay, protein is, they say, yeah, protein can be converted to energy. It's a lot easier for your body to convert carbohydrate to glucose than it is to protein.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So you're only doing your body a favor. So that's my little rant on that. Right? You're on the podcast. You're my guest. You tell me something, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
Like, yeah.
there's tons of nutrients you can get from like carbs, like that. Like, what is it? Fiber is like one of the most important things to get in your diet because there's a direct correlation to longevity.
Okay. Right.
Like the more you up your fiber intake by like 10, like what was like each 10 grams that you up it is like it's a strong correlation to more years added onto your life. So yeah, we need complex carbs in our diet. Of course, we need a well developed diet that gets everything in there.
Right.
And like, how am I going to get all my minerals without getting some sort of like leafy green? You know, it's just there's a lot of things.
How
Caveats that comes to that.
simple is building muscle? Fundamentally, how simple is it?
Oh yeah, train hard, eat protein, sleep. Train hard, eat protein, sleep. Don't have to do it every day, but you can do it as low as 4 days a week, like we said, as low as 3 days a week. You can do it as low as 2 days a week as a beginner, and you'll still gain muscle.
Wow.
But if you want to gain more muscle, if you want it to be better, like you have a better quality of life, you have less stress, you make sure that what you're eating is good for you.
How important?
It's
It's that simple.
That's the only difference.
I feel like you're preaching to the choir with me. I feel like I am the arbiter to the audience.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
because we got to get those Instagram reels out.
Oh yeah.
Those are the best. These have been phenomenal.
Oh, we just need to demonize something for that.
Yeah, we should demonize something.
Oh yeah. Spinach causes cancer.
Just cause
Spinach.
Screw V shred.
Sure. Oh yeah.
What do you think about? What do you think about people who fundamentally die on their hills and say this is supposed to be this way, this is the only way to do it, and everything else can go kick rocks?
I really want it. Okay, F V shred. But yeah, people that die in their hills, it's stupid. That's it. It's dumb because science is constantly evolving. So let's say we have this conversation about the principle of food being like or like wellness in general. You eat good food and you live well, right?
Right.
Let's say we learn later on that carbs are actually really bad for longevity, and we found some crazy mineral that we're supposed to be eating, and it was proven scientifically that it's better for your life.
Right.
In this hypothetical scenario, we would be stupid to not listen to the science and research, right? So if we're dying on our hills that our principles are correct, then we're behind on the times and we're not growing. So how do people progress as society? They don't stay with the old mode of thinking all the time. They grow, they learn. Humans learn more and more as generations go by. Science grows more and more as generations go by. If you just stick to back in my day, we did skull crushers every day and had gigantic triceps instead of like, oh, there's multiple ways to grow your triceps. All right. Like, you just need to keep learning in any sort of field. Doesn't even have to be scientific.
Right.
You can just be like, oh, is a better way for me to read? I can read faster and I'm a big reading person.
Right.
I should read faster like that because it'll help me. It'll be good for my life, you know.
Yes. So to wrap this up, because our battery is about to die.
Sick.
Sick. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah.
This was incredible. You have done amazing. And is there any final words you'd like to say to our audience?
Fuck V-Shred. I really hate V-Shred.
I can't stand him either. Well, hey, listen, on that note, thank you so much for coming to my house, walking 10 feet to come here. And you guys know the deal. Live lean, stay happy, subscribe for more videos, follow us on Instagram, follow my buddy Erik on Instagram as well. Links will be